All right, welcome back. Yeah, we start off with talking about some political development in Edo State. And as you've seen there, we've got Honorable Washington Osifo, who joins us. He's a legal practitioner. He's a member of the 7th Edo State House of Assembly. Good morning. Thank you for coming on today.
Good morning, Chamberlain. Good morning, Mark. Good morning, Nigerians.
Well, you know, I was reading some piece where it did say people had predicted that the governor and the deputy were going to fall out at some point, you know, but little did they know that it was going to be a year and some months before that tenure is over. And now there's a rift amongst them. So just tell us, why is this going on?
Well, thank you the way you introduced the matter. You know, you recall several months in the last 3-4 years I was here. And this station, channels, they played the frontline role in interrogating what was happening in Edo State. And like you would always say, and your colleagues will say, Edo again. And I would say, in the news for the wrong reason. Edo is always on the news for the wrong reason. But that started within the last 7 years, understandably so. And because a stranger came in and upturned whatever was known to us in Edo as a family. And of course, that's what is happening. Those who predicted it, that it was going to be like this, they knew. And they were very sure.
A stranger in which, in a political party?
No, talking about the governor. You know, if you noticed, Philip Shaibu, my friend, in all that happened while we were talking about the Edo 14 that were unlawfully excluded from the inauguration, I never mentioned his name.
Why?
My issue, yeah, because like I said, he's my friend. And I don't go to the gutters with my friend. Even when they do the wrong thing, I don't go to the gutters with them.
So you share the same political interests?
Yeah, because in the past, when I'm a politician, I've always contested elections. At some point, he also invested in my political career. So for a man who is my friend that I've ate with, who I drank with, who shared political thoughts together as much as I also assisted him, it was not going to be my lot to go to the gutters with when he tries to do anything to hurt my political career. Now,
did you do enough to ensure that the matter was sorted?
No, in fact, he was the architect of the matter, so to speak.
Oh.
Yeah, he was.
And yes, he's your friend?
Yeah, that's what I said. You know, when we were excluded, that night, June 17th, when we were excluded, 2019, I wasn't going to forget. He was the one who orchestrated it, together with the secretary to Governor Obaseki. Obaseki was just waiting for them to execute and report back to him. And indeed, like a czar, they reported to him and he was happy. The friendship was just marriage of convenience. And I knew it was going to fall apart because before then, Obaseki never wanted Philip to be his deputy. But Comrade Adams Ali Oshomole, the then governor, was trying to strike a beautiful balance between a technocrat and a politician. Both having worked with him, one in the executive and the other one at the legislative arm. And he thought that fine blend would take Edo to the next level, which was what we campaigned with. But the moment he was able to settle that and the party began, which is the government began, Obaseki still suspected Philip. And he went on with that suspicion. When it was that time that he fell out with his boss, which is the then governor of Edo State, Comrade Adams Ali Oshomole, he saw in Philip a willing tool to bring down his father. And he accepted and he brought him down. Now, a reconciled enemy can never be trusted. In that regard, Philip was an enemy that was to go sooner than expected.
So has he been reconciled with the former governor, Senator Oshomole?
No, when I mean a reconciled enemy, I'm talking about the relationship, unfriendly relationship between the governor and his deputy.
Okay, because they were political enemies before now, or what?
Yeah, because, you see, I think this was a game of one looking for the attention, a better attention from the then boss, which is Comrade Adams Ali Oshomole, who is closer. Philip will say, I am his son. Godwin will say, I am his best friend. So who gets his attention, a better attention from him? So there was that rivalry. And when it was time to now say, okay, you be his deputy. He said, no, over my dead body, I'm not going to allow that to happen. And Comrade said, Edo didn't want you. I literally forced you on Edo because I thought you are an economic czar. So you can take Edo to the next level, having worked with me in the economic team, chairman. Okay, Philip said, we don't want this man. He's going to destroy the structure. He predicted very well. That rivalry, we thought at that time that he was just saying that because they had this baby rivalry of saying father who is closer to the father and all of that. But when he forgave him, it was suspicious. And Philip knew. And that was why whatever Philip could also put to line his pockets why that dance was good enough, because for Philip to benefit, there must be a battle. And that battle must be to accept the role of the Judas. Bring down your father, get 30 pieces of silver, be better in your life, pretend to pursue your political career until such a time when it comes that Judas must go. So what is seen in Edo now is that Judas must go. And Judas now wants to contest election, and the governor is saying no.
Those are very heavy words to use, you know.
And as a matter of fact, you know, right now, we can't independently confirm some of these things that you have said, because tomorrow they will clearly say, no, that some of this is not correct. But these are your own accounts.
Absolutely.
And if you don't mind, just...
I take responsibility for what I say.
Yeah, and I also know, you know, that some of those words, some of them will take strong exception with the adjectives used in describing some of them. So
adjectives are what they are.
Yeah, but you know that some of them too, sometimes they could be very, very difficult to accept for some of them. But now that this scenario is the way it is it true that the deputy governor, that this could have happened because the deputy governor wants to contest for the governorship election and the governor is not giving him his support? Could that be true?
Well, I can authoritatively confirm that the deputy governor intends to contest for the 2024 gubernatorial election. I can, because, you know, he came to Abuja some time ago. He met with me, and what he asked was, please forgive me for whatever happened. You were never inaugurated.
Did he talk to you?
Yeah, he said so. And like I told him, it took you 4 years. Myself and my colleagues haven't won an election. We were not sworn in. It has never happened before anywhere in the world. We helped you to win and you were sworn in. My friend, you stopped me. Well, I have forgiven you even before you asked for it. However, I am not in your party. I can't support you. He said, but he's just asking for forgiveness. I said, okay, fine, you are forgiven. It's okay. It's gone, it's gone. What is gone, we can never bring back again. That we're going back to the house. 4 years is gone. And it's history now. But, and I also interrogated him. I said, no, I'll be following up what is happening in your party. I know you are not too good with your governor. So what are you going to do about that? I said, well, maybe he will ply his political journey elsewhere. However, for now, he's seeking a realignment with his old friends. I said, good enough. But I wish you luck. I ended it at that. So I don't knew before now that it was going to happen. And I've also always told people, in fact, I've said it here severally, even in my write-up, I've always mentioned this. And I know you know, Mark, you also know, and your colleagues in Lagos, they know, that evil has its retribution. It's a case of when, not whether. And that is what is happening, Edu. It's an elimination by substitution act, okay? Now, 2024 is coming. The governors usually, as they are, governors generally, we definitely want to, you know, promote a successor. It's natural to be interested. He has seen that Philip is not on the line to be considered as one of his successors. Therefore, and Philip is ambitious. There's nothing wrong in being ambitious anyways. Human beings should be. And I encourage that. However, his boss doesn't want him, but he wants to be there. This is what is happening. And the boss thinks that, okay, if we don't take this out now, it will be something like a cancer that will spread and destroy the party internally. And internal explosion is worse than that, worse than external. And the man is saying, look, you can't contest. If I have to judge by what Philip's spokesman, the man who now played the role of his spokesman, which is Adaze Mata, who came to your studio, I think it was anchored by my friend, the man that takes the evening program, Sean. Now, he was saying that the reason why the governor wanted Philip to go was because he wants to contest election, and he used the word impeachment. And the other guy who came to speak on behalf of the governor said, no, do you understand the meaning of impeachment? It is not possible for the governor to impeach the deputy governor, given the process that you have to pass through. And I said, wow, this is interesting. It was for this same reason. The 14 were excluded from being inaugurated. And they made the whole world to believe that what we were coming to do, even before we were inaugurated, that we were coming to impeach the governor. If the governor sitting in his magisterial sanctity as governor, it will be difficult for him to impeach his deputy governor. How much can or could we have done as members of the House of Assembly, just the 14 of us? So it means that we were victims of political rascality, and we ended up not being sworn in, having won election. Now, I don't know how they are going to dance, for how long they are going to dance this macabre dance. But I know the governor for one thing. If he sets himself on a mission to do something, he doesn't go back on it. And I can tell you, even though the deputy, he was saying no, he probably rushed to the courts, you know. They have mastered the art of rushing to courts, okay, to stop whoever. And again, our judiciary, we need to really talk to our judiciary because this is an opportunity. And to the National Assembly, I watched Eta Enad on this studio and was referring to Edo 14 shortly before the National Assembly was inaugurated. He made reference to a matter that came up in Port Harcourt, where the National Assembly were, you know, they had a judgment against the National Assembly, particularly the Senate, not to have any reason to interfere in political issues, the crisis of the G14, of the Edo 14, that excluded the unlawful exclusion of Edo. Now, do you know that that was supposed to be a constitutional matter that gave them the powers, the right, to look into the matter as it is today? If it happens anywhere in Nigeria, by reason of judicial precedence, they are stopped. They cannot perform their legitimate constitutional duties of interrogating issues in states that has to do with matters relating to this non-exclusion of members from being inaugurated. They would have been stopped. They were rascally. They too, the National Assembly. National Assembly, as we speak today, there is a law, there's a judgment against them. They didn't appeal it. And I wonder why. You went to Edo, interrogated the issues, you came out with the report, you briefed the nation as to what happened in Edo, and your position was that the governor and others, his co-travelers, were wrong. They ought not to have done that. It was against the Constitution. You could not invoke your constitutional powers to deal with the issues. They went to court in anticipation of what you would do to stop you from doing it. Haven't noticed that somebody was encroaching on your constitutional right, you left it unattended to. So I want to speak to the 10th Assembly. They should see the National Assembly. They should see every reason to go and contest with a bit of vacating that judgment against the National Assembly.
Well, I know that politicians can go on and on, you know, with politics. The people of Edo State will eventually decide what's best for them, I mean, when they eventually presented choices. But I'm wondering, I mean, with this issue of, I don't want to say, shall I say karma? Is that what it is that you think?
I think it's the best word for it.
Is what you think.
Yeah.
But it does appear that you are just at home watching the drama.
Yeah.
You seem to be in a place of, I don't know, are you gloating? Is that what you're doing?
Well, you know, sometimes, forgive me for, I mean, I have a right to say this. I haven't suffered, you know, quantum of injustice. You can't expect me not to watch, but watch with a pity that I do again is here for the wrong reason. You see, it's good to play politics, but when you play politics, pity for Edo, my state. Because for every political battle that is wrongly fought, Edo is at the receiving end. Development is at the receiving end. Now look at what is happening in Edo. Edo is so backward in terms of development. Okay? What I used to enjoy, politics is not war. It's a game of wit. Okay? And the game of wit must be done within the parameters of the law, acceptable norms of the law.
So I'll come back and I'll take up some of the issues because we understand that the governor says that, you know, this is about, and this is according to reports, that this is not exactly about, it's about the timing. He believes that there should be time for politics and there should be time for governance. And it will look like all that is happening is just a question of timing. But we'll interrogate that when we come back from this break. Please stay with us. We're still looking at matters concerning Edo State, and we still have our guest here. Mr. Washington is still here with us. Let me quickly take you up on this issue of the governor saying, and I don't know how true this is because this was reports that we read, that this is just about timing. The fact that, you know, it's not yet time to talk about politics. As you said, there's still at least a clear year. Edo is not until, I mean, the politics is not until next year. Why do you think that this has come up so early in the day? With the calculations, it seems we're already way in the wing before even before now. Isn't this a little ill time considering what is currently on the ground?
Well, if you balance it against what the law expects, the rules are there. INEC is here to release its timetable. But as a politician, I will tell you, before it gets to the kitchen, you must have been to the market to get the food stuff together. And that's exactly what is happening. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. In trying to galvanize, prepare. It is not the day you win election that you begin to prepare for it.
Can you tell me what, in your own estimation, already shows that the governor might not be interested in supporting his own deputy governor, apart from the alarm which the deputy governor has raised?
It's not just an alarm, it's a balance of convenience. It was somebody who, for any reason, just got married to an unfaithful wife, himself not also being faithful. It's just a marriage of deception. I mean, it was going to happen, and I'm not surprised it happened. Godwin knew it was going to happen. Philip knew it was going to happen. So it was, both of them were sitting on the...
Yeah, but what were the indications, apart from the suspicion? Because sometimes suspicions are just, thinking in people's... Has there been any real thing that has happened that we will say, oh, look, this is certainly an indication that the governor would never have supported his deputy?
If history is anything to judge by, as students of history, you will know that you don't tell the future of a man without looking at his yesterday. And the yesterday defines their relationship. That's exactly what I said. That before he accepted him as his deputy, he was prevailed upon. But it became convenient when it was now time to take out their boss. Also my boss.
But that was years ago. The battle has long since been fought, and it's been over and done with. They even moved to the PDP together, and we saw how it was. I mean, people thought it was going to be very impossible for the governor to be able to maintain Mr. Philip Shaibu as his deputy when he moved to the PDP, because we were wondering, what was he going to give to the party? Yeah. The party would have wanted to field a deputy, but it would seem that he insisted that he was going to, it had to be his deputy or no one else.
Reasonably so. Unfortunately, man will always set a battle for himself, and there's always a time to fight a new battle, and this is just the time. 2024, whether we like it or not, is already knocking at the door. And the governor is thinking, what do I do? And he has his own agenda, who he wants to hand over to. If you look clearly, every administration that is coming to an end and seeking for a successor, they do it. But some are reasonable, others are not. The unreasonableness in it is what is exposing what is happening now. Otherwise, it's not entirely strange.
You haven't exactly answered my question, because, I mean, if the governor has shown loyalty to his deputy by even adopting and ensuring that he was still adopted by, another party when he moved on, some people will say that it was indication that
let me tell you something.
He was loyal to his deputy and his deputy was loyal to him.
In election, it's all about winnability. For the governor at that time, we didn't do it out of love or loyalty. He did it out of the possibility of using a man to take down a donut, which is where Comrade Adam Saliu Oshomole comes from. Then the question was that if he has shown to be powerful, in quotes, then I must have him to get through this battle. When I get through this battle, a time will come when he has to go.
Okay, so let me ask you, I mean, in all of this, you seem to have exonerated the principal who put this team together, because it would seem that at the time when you talked about that particular history, when Mr. Godwin Obaseki was put forward for governor, and Mr. Philip Shaibu was also put forward, there were disagreements, very hot disagreements within the party.
Absolutely.
So can you, in all of this, exonerate Senator Adams Oshomole, who put this experiment, if you like, together?
Well, there's nothing to exonerate here. It's just like I said before, it's like trying to bring a blend of, in quotes, a technocrat and a politician. It didn't work, obviously, from what we're saying. Well, has it worked? Well, I mean, even God himself at some point had to regret creating man. So the intention, it is the intention as at when it was done. The intention was, what would be better for Edo? A blend of technocrat instead of politician, a blend of technocrat and politician. Manage the political aspect and you manage the economic aspect. But ambition will always come at some point to tear men apart. And that's exactly what is happening.
Let me swing this to my colleagues in Lagos. Kayode Anayo.
Thank you, Makwe. Honorable Osifo, just to be clear, maybe just to begin the conversation and to speak plainly, those allegations in place, those permutations making the rounds, do you see an impeachment of the deputy governor happening as has been alleged. I asked this question against the backdrop of what you said earlier, that whenever the governor decides that he wants to get something done, he does get it done. So do you see that happening? Do you even see that in the works or at play here?
Yeah, I see it happening. It is not something that was just brought to the fore by his deputy governor. It is not grounded only on suspicion. He has his facts. And I can tell you, I know both of them. And I can tell you that if there were nothing like that, he wouldn't have gone to the courts to say, okay, protect me, or try to stop the governor from doing it. The only thing I can tell you, it may be delayed, but it may eventually come to pass. Because the governor, like I said before, is not somebody who starts a journey and wouldn't ruthlessly end it, ruthlessly underlined.
Well, perhaps to also clear, because you referenced the judiciary earlier, I remember the CJN had at some point said that whatever issue arises at any location, whatever judicial intervention should happen within that same jurisdiction as well. So, do you see that intervention of the Abuja courts as significant when it probably should have originated from Edo State?
Well, I want to tell you, politicians will usually go to a court or a jurisdiction where they think that they have certain control over, that can have control over their matters or whatever, and favorably be able to get something good for themselves. I am surprised at the speed of light that even in the name of filing affidavits of urgency, that the court responded to the request of the deputy governor. Because it is that same court that, though 14, we were there for 4 years. Our matter was never attended to. It never came up. And I mean, even the ones in Edo, they didn't attend, they were suppressed. The one in Abuja, they were suppressed. They are familiar with that court because they have gotten judgment severally from that same court. So I am sure Philip has his way working with the governor. I'm sure he had his way. Like he said, Philip said that he was the one who masterminded whatever judgment they got severally that was good for the governor. So he knows where he's comfortable, to get whatever he wants, and he's there. And as you can see, maybe the court will come to his rescue, but if you want to say that at least is something that is postponed, at least for now, to say, just hold on, come and show us cause why you think that you can continue doing what you are doing. But at least for now, he's enjoying the little relief given to him by the court. But I can say that court, that same court 4, was the same court that we were there for 4 years, like I said. And the matter just came. There was affidavit of urgency filed for a matter that borders on the unlawful exclusion of 14 legislators, which touches on the heart of democracy. You didn't see the need to deal with it expeditiously. Then what can be more urgent than not looking into the matter of a subnational government, an arm of the federal government of the Nigerian nation suffering, and you did nothing about it. So it's a familiar terrain for Philip. It's a familiar terrain he's there. We will see what happens next.
I'm quite curious. Just maybe take a quick detour on this 14 elected lawmakers of the 7th Assembly of Edo State, who, a lot of people are familiar with that story, but how it ended or how it's still going on right now is what I'm quite curious about, because you've referred to it time and again. So whatever happened or what is going on? So are you saying that for those 4 years, nothing happened, you weren't getting paid, your constituencies were not represented, and there is no form of redress done? Are you saying that the case has gone like that and we just move on like business as usual?
Well, I like your choice of words. The case has gone like that. Yes, I can tell you, it was a child that was born and was never given any right to enjoy breath, and the child died. So I can tell you that the last time we were in court, we still tried to. I think about a month ago, we were in court in Edo, and the judge was asking, why do you think you should still be here? Your tenure haven't elapsed, and you were not allowed to sit and represent your people. And don't you think that this will show cause why we should still be hearing this, if this will not amount to a mere academic exercise? It's difficult to sit and you see an election you contested, you won, and you were excluded from inauguration. It's one history in my life that I will never forget. Painful as it is, but I have also moved on, and my colleagues, they have moved on. But it's a shame to democracy, and even the Nigerian government, even my party, who was there at that time, President Muhammadu Buhari, the then president of Nigeria, didn't do much to salvage that situation. The party who existed at that time played politics with Edo and Edo State. I don't know what their interests were. I mean, they were more familiar and romantic with the government of Godwin Obaseki, APC doing that to another PDP. I don't know. Edo suffered, 14 suffered, and a lot of us suffered. And it wasn't okay with my constituency because there was no development. I mean, for the other 13 constituencies, too, they had no representation in the House, and it just ended. It ended. It was an injustice meted on us, and may God forgive them.
I mean, just quickly, are you saying that, so during that period, literally nothing was done? There were no offers to you? Because I know politics, they might say, well, okay, you can't have this, but let's placate you with this. And then you were not paid, you didn't get all of those allowances. Is that the case?
That is the case. Nothing, nobody offered anything, and no payment, nothing was done. They didn't even allow us to sit. Okay, I mean, it was because we attended to come to the assembly that they went to the assembly. If you recall, your station captured it. They took away the roof and vandalized everything. They poured gravels on both ends of the entrance of to the assembly, just to stop us. It was a very dirty politics, the kind I've never seen before.
I mean, and I think the major casualties in this are the people, the constituents, your people in your constituents. But quickly, as we wind out, so we've seen this happen time and again. Some will predict that in the next 4 years, we'll see another governor and the deputy or someone in his cabinet having this issue, and then someone pulling off the rug, trying to dethrone. Is it a thing with Edo State, or just the politicians being politicians? Because if you begin to see this cycle day in, day out, you begin to wonder, is this the culture of the people, or the politicians are misrepresenting the culture, or at least the principles, the philosophy, what the Edo people stand for?
No. You know, this is why I said it grieves my heart to hear that Edo is in the news again for the wrong reason. Edo, they are peaceful people, vibrant people, articulate, and I mean, everything positive. You can tie Edo into it. But like I said, you know, a stranger came into our midst 7 years ago, and since he came, neither himself nor Edo, you know, knew peace. And it's still like that. So I'm sure we are in a hurry to see him leave, you know, when he's done with his kind of style of governance. And I'm sure when he leaves, you know, Edo, it has never been like this. And I am sure you know that in our history as a people, we are not synonymous with ingratitude. But if you follow the trajectory now from APC, when Godwin Obaseki was in APC, he paid us with ingratitude, left to PDP, paid PDP with ingratitude. Now, there's an internal thing between himself and his number two. It is synonymous with him that whoever helps him, he brings down. And it's not strange to him.
But, Honorable, was it not correct that the governor has said from the time that whoever will succeed him should be from Edo Central? Because Commander Shomole was from Edo North. And so getting somebody from Edo Central may not be fair to the region. And besides, we also understand that he was offered senatorial slots, the deputy. He didn't accept it. Is that right?
Well, I'm not a member of PDP, so the internal workings I may not know. But I can speak on what is normal in politics. Most politicians will tell you what you want to hear, especially during election season. And for my brothers from the Central, you know, Godwin Obaseki played politics with them. And I can tell you that elections are almost here.
But what I said, is that not correct? The former governor was from Edo North.
Yes.
And so would it be fair for somebody from Edo North to succeed the current governor?
Well, it is not for me to set the agenda, but what I can tell you
it's not an agenda. I'm not asking it's an agenda. I'm only saying, would it be fair?
No, you're talking about agenda. I'm coming there. Talking about what is fair. In the mind of a politician, how to win election, that is what it is. Numbers will always count.
So it's only what benefits them.
And I tell you, for me,
not the people.
For me, justice, if justice is to be done, fairness will play. I'm a fair-minded
So what would you say would be fair?
For me, what is fair is that, you know, you look at the entire state. For me, no. It is not. For me, I cannot tell you where it should be. Okay. What we do in Edo politics is to allow everybody to go, and we pick the best. That's the way we do it.
Honorable Washington Osifo, thank you for coming on. Well, we wish you all the best.
Thank you.
We will be back in just a moment, and then we'll be talking about the development in Niger Republic. That's when we return. Stay on with us.